All right, what's up, guys? It has been a long time since we did one of these YouTube Q&As. So before we get started, I want to thank everyone who listens and supports the channel so much. A lot of you have been here from the start, and we also have a lot of new people coming in too. So whether you're just listening or just, clicking and liking, or if you support the channel on Patreon, whatever it is all super appreciated. So I'm going to answer these to the best of my ability. I'm going to let you know right now that I did try and write down a bunch of answers for these questions, and then I was like, I need to go through them and check them, but God, that was taking way too long. So screw it, we're doing it live. I hope it turns out okay. And if I skip over any question, most likely it's just something that I've answered before or answered a few times before. So I'm going to try avoiding that. Or maybe it was inappropriate for YouTube, or it required a little too much detail. But I will do my best. So I went into these in chronological order. So if you posted your question, really quickly, then it's probably on here. Okay, enough waffling. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I have to say also my pop filter is missing it's missing something. Anyways, enough excuses. Let's do this. Sierra asks, did you ever go to your high school prom? Nope. Most of the people in my high school and in my elementary school stayed in the same neighborhood. Even today, I can see them on Facebook, and they are married to the same people they went to school with. And I am not interested. I have nothing to do with any of that. So I don't think that I would go back, even if I was geographically close to them, which I'm not. Lulu Sugar Noodles, I love the name by the way, asks, do you prefer your dumplings pan-seared or steamed? So for regular dumplings, I definitely prefer pan-seared. But for certain dumplings like xiaolongbao or the ones with the soup inside, obviously steamed is the way to go. And for the record, xiaolongbao is the best dumpling out there. Supernova asks, do you ever feel burnt out? Rarely. I honestly rarely feel that way at all. Sometimes it happens a little bit, but I really love my job, so it's never really a problem. And I will tell you right now that if I ever really feel burnt out, I would probably just let you guys know and skip a round of YouTube and Patreon audios. Just take a few days to recoup. But that hasn't really happened yet, so I don't worry about it. Stephen Grace, and I have to say, there were actually quite a few guys in here, and that kind of made me happy. Stephen Grace asks, what is your favorite band or musician? That's really such a difficult question, man. Bless the Fall will always remain my true love musically, but I do listen to very different music depending on the setting. Right now I'm obsessed with this song Rengoku, but I do enjoy some, really relaxed stuff too. Like I listen to a lot of chill hop as well. Alyssa asks, what has been your favorite video that you've made? Probably all of the vampire ones and the first video that I ever made, because it's what started it all. And I know that the vampire ones and the fantasy ASMR roleplays are not as popular, but they are so much fun. Honey Spirit asks, what is your favorite song or artist of all time? All time? Yeah, probably Bless the Fall. The Immortal MJ Dancer asks, will you ever take on commissions? Probably not. I'd rather avoid commissions. I'd rather just maybe dedicate a month to working on people's specific requests, which is something that I've wanted to do anyways for quite a while. So yeah, I don't think I'd do commissions, but I would do something like that. Lala asks, what are your thoughts about the dating scene? Is it harder to date as you get older? What are the 5 questions you'd ask to get to know someone if you're looking for marriage material or a life partner? Okay, all good questions. I do think it is kind of a tragedy. The dating scene has become almost entirely done through dating apps. And it was kind of obvious to see that we were heading there, but yeah, it's it's not good. Especially if you're just out of school, right? Like if you're out of school and you don't have like a club or something that you're going to regularly, dating apps are kind of the only way to meet people, unless you're picking them up at the supermarket or something, which is actually a good place to meet people. But I digress. Dating apps are not very good, guys. I've met people who had, I would say, generously less than stellar pictures, who were absolutely 10 out of 10, funny, witty, great company, and from my perspective, just absolutely gorgeous in real life. Similarly, when I tried using dating apps, I noticed that girls were really picky or cautious, but in real life, they were 100% into it, like really excited. So I just don't think that dating apps are, what's the word? I don't think that dating apps are accurate. They're not an accurate portrayal of the person. And that is a problem if you're trying to find people. But unfortunately, just given the dating scene today, if you do seriously want to meet someone, yeah, dating apps is kind of where it's at. You're going to have to use them. As for dating when you get older and marriage material, so I've noticed that as you get older, people get kind of experienced and they get less enthusiastic to put in effort. Also, most people are really busy, you know, they've got their own busy lives and things that they need to take care of. So I would say that, yeah, dating does get harder as you get older, but on the other hand, your life is more fulfilling overall as you get older, if that makes sense. Like when I was 18, I didn't have much going on in my life, and getting a date was absolutely everything. And as you get older, you can kind of take it or leave it. You've got other stuff that you want to do, right? And what 5 questions would I ask? It's hard to say specific questions, but if we're talking about marriage material, I would want to know that they have a sense of humor. Like if I make a joke and they don't even recognize it as a joke, that's probably a red flag for me. I'd want to know if they have any really out there spiritual beliefs that are not going to be compatible with us long term. I would want to know their plans for the future. I would want to know their thoughts on kids. And I'd want to know if they're flaky or not. Like, are they dependable? I think those are all really big things to look for in a partner. Elisa Koistinen asks, do you like books? Yes. I like books. Who doesn't like books? I'd be very, very suspicious of anybody who said they didn't like books. I don't know. Felicia Lorbacher asks, what are your favorite comfort foods and your favorite color? So green is my favorite color, but for cars it's black, and for motorcycles it's black and red. And my favorite comfort food is probably ham and cheese on Ritz crackers. If you give me a plate of ham and cheese on Ritz crackers, I will just smash it. It will disappear so fast. Nessa659 asks, what are some video ideas that you wanted to do in the past, but you were too scared? Did you end up posting those? And if not, why? Nah, none. I don't think there's been anything that I've wanted to do that I haven't done. And yeah, there have been a few things that I wanted to do and I did them and they didn't go over well. But 99% of the stuff that I post, I want to do it. And if it's too racy, it just goes on Patreon. And luckily, I've got an awesome community. So even if you guys are not into it, people are really supportive. And I really, really appreciate it. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, positive comments are so nice to read. Anyways, I'm losing my focus here. Felicia asks your favorite holiday. It is always a toss-up between Halloween and Christmas. I'd say if I'm near my family, it's probably Christmas. And if I'm not near my family, it's going to be Halloween because Halloween is just super good fun. Jojo asks, what is your favorite flower and why? I honestly don't know flowers. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to Google this and like look up some cool flowers and give you a really pro answer, but I don't know flowers. I have a jade plant because I basically can't kill it by accident. So I'm going to go with my jade plant. He's pretty cool. Namu asks, what's a compliment that makes you feel special? Okay, I've actually got a kind of good story about a compliment, about 2 compliments recently. That sounds really egotistical. Anyways, I'm going to tell these stories. So the other day, a guy randomly came up to me and he had a really strong accent. Nice dude, but he had a really strong accent. And he was like, wow, your muscles are huge. And they're not, but you know, he said that. So I was like, thank you. And then he says, but your fate. And I was like, what the hell? But my face? Like, are you trying to, did you just come up here to tell me that I've got a bad face? Anyways, yeah, he was trying to say you have too little fat. You have too little fat. And then he asked if I was on special medicine. So we all know what he was asking about. And I was like, no, dude, I don't even take protein powder. Like, yeah, but that was kind of a compliment. Someone tells you that you've got like low body fat and nice muscles. That's really nice. But I definitely thought that he was like insulting me at first. Second time I got a compliment that was kind of nice was in a bar. A girl told me that I had nice eyes, and I just started laughing because there were people smoking in the bar. Like, it's rare to find that, but the bar was like filled with smoke and my eyes were stinging so bad. So my eyes are like super watery and stinging, and I'm trying to listen to what she's saying. And yeah, that was just kind of funny. Destiny asks, what is your favorite love trope? I would say separated lovers with a tragic ending. Idalis? Hi, Idalis. Says, I've been talking to this guy I recently met on a dating app. I really do like him and want to meet him and get to know him over summer. We both live 1.5 hours away. Like, that's not too bad. But for college, he goes to school 6 hours away. That's pretty bad. If we do hit it off and start a relationship, do you have tips for keeping things interesting while long distance? I would say just keep your chat game strong, obviously. Like, call each other once in a while, but yeah, send pictures of what you're doing, letting each other know that you're thinking about each other. Play some games together, find things that you can do online together. Maybe watch a movie at the same time, that kind of thing. And a little pro tip, do not do the spicy stuff over chat every day. Just don't do it, even if you want to. If you do it too much, it will get boring quick. Leave that for, time to time. Anyways, good luck with this guy, Idalis. I wish you guys all the best. Lily asks, it's probably Lily, asks, do you believe in past lives? If you do, how do you imagine yours? I don't know how I feel about past lives. If I did have a past life, I imagine that I was probably an explorer. When I was a kid, I spent so long just looking at maps and hoping that there was an undiscovered island or land somewhere that I could find and write about. So yeah, I would hope that I was an explorer in a past life. Venus says your thoughts on Met Gala outfits this year. I don't even know what the Met Gala is. Sorry. Thoughts on marriage lately. I am open to it, but I am not chasing it by any means. And how do you riz someone or flirt with them? I don't really have a game plan. I just kind of chat and, just talk to them like a normal human being. And yeah. Casey Gowan says, if you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Probably steak, because it is delicious and nutritious. And probably not the most environmentally friendly answer, but damn, I really do like a good steak. So yeah, steak. Nobody asks, if you could write a book, what would it be about? Probably about animal behavior, like dogs or wolves or octopi. I think it would be really cool to research that. If there was a book that I could relate to, what would it be? I feel like almost every fiction book I and most readers can relate to, because we're human beings and we like stories. So yeah, kind of a shitty answer, but kind of a cop-out answer, but yeah, I guess just like any good fiction story, I can relate to, and I think most people can. Regan asks, are stretch marks, hip dips, back dimples, and cellulite a turnoff? That's like saying, is the human body a turnoff? Because like we're all gonna get those things, right? Or most people will get those things at some point in their life. So I wouldn't worry about it. It's just a thing, you don't even notice it. Although I don't know what hip dips are, and I've known people that were in amazing shape with those little dimples in the small of their back, and I thought they were really cute. So wouldn't worry about it at all. Audrey asks, what's a place you would love to travel to? Probably Egypt. It is on my bucket list. We need to discover the aliens, guys. Gotta go to Egypt. Lebolala asks, what's your AR level in Genshin and who do you main? Lebolala, I do not play Genshin anymore. I'm out. I'm fully on the Star Rail hype train, and I am Trailblaze level 11 as of recording this, and I just got Gepard. So yeah, awesome. Also, can you do a cosplay audio? Like hyping up the listener in a cosplay, or you're in a cosplay? Yeah, sure, we could do something like that. I'd have to think about how to work it out, but yeah, we could do it. Raj asks, what is your favorite recent memory? I think that would be, I was lying on the roof the other day. Those days where the sky is just so ridiculously blue? So yeah, it was one of those days, and I went out on the roof and I was just lying there staring at the sky. It was really enjoyable, but that's also probably why my eyes were stinging in the bar as well. Toda asks, what is your favorite pet name? I don't really have a pet name, but I like it when people use my last name. I think it's cooler than my first name. What color are your glasses? I've had so many glasses, but I would say that my favorite glasses are just black with some tortoise shell, I think it's called. Just like very classic. And I also have a pair of what look like Harry Potter glasses, and they're like a deep maroony brown, and I like those. But I never wear them, but I do like them. Traveled to the past or the future? That is a tough question, but I would probably travel to the past. Cuddles or kisses? We've had this question before, And the correct answer is still and always will be cuddles. Guys, it's cuddles, okay? Kayla asks, what advice can you give for mental health and to prioritize it, especially during college? My first year of college literally hit me like a train wreck, like nothing other, along with family issues. I want to know how to avoid it next year. Kayla, that sucks. That is so rough. I kind of know what you're going through. I think a lot of people get the college blues, but I mean, we don't know what's going on with your family. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear you're going through that. Honestly, I would say if you are really struggling with it, you should seek help from somebody that is much more experienced with dealing with it than me. I'm not sure I can give you a good answer because when I got the college blues and I got bad grades in my first year and I thought I was so smart. I thought I was going to do so well. Yeah, after it happened, I got so angry and I just pushed myself harder. I just pushed myself harder and harder. And my grades went up, but I don't think that's the right approach for everybody. It worked for me, but I know it won't work for everyone. So yeah, I think you should take some time and make sure that you are physically, academically, and I guess spiritually or philosophically happy. You know, you need to have those balances in your life. And yeah, if you find that one area is just making you unhappy, maybe spend some time nurturing that area. And definitely don't take my advice no matter what you do. And best of luck. Ari asks, can you make a playlist of your favorite songs when you're working out, being lazy, etc.? Ari, I love your name, by the way. Ari, I have like 10 playlists on my phone already, probably more. And they're all very, very disorganized and constantly changing. Trust me, you do not want to listen to my playlists. Belle asks, what advice would you give to someone in a situationship? For anyone wondering, anyone who's not a Zoomer out there, what a situationship is. It is an undefined relationship. So I would say that how you deal with it depends on your friend. I'm assuming that they're unhappy in this situation. So yeah, I guess my advice is if it's been long enough and your friend is unhappy, it's time to bring it up. It's time to force the issue a bit. You know, ask, are we together or are we not together? And what's our status? What's our plan for the future? Are you open to it? And if the other party is kind of waffling back and forth, just bail, get out of there. Why would you waste your time with somebody who's, well, wasting your time? So yeah, I think the best way to deal with a situationship is just deal with it. Bring it up or bail out. God, why do you give me these names, guys? I'm just gonna say Lovely. Lovely asks, what used to be your favorite subject in school? Probably biology. I feel like some of these questions you guys have probably asked before, and then if I give a different answer, you're gonna call me out on it. But yeah, probably biology. But it is a toss-up between history, bio, and English. I kind of love all of those subjects. Is there something that makes you especially nervous? Definitely. The deep, deep water in the ocean. You know what I'm talking about. Like the deepest water when it's just pitch black and you know that it goes down to like Mariana's Trench for 1 billion miles. Sorry, that's my cell phone. Let me throw it on the bed. Yeah, that kind of water is super freaky. Fia asks, would you ever consider doing a collab in the future? Probably not. I mean, maybe, but to be honest, I've been doing this for years and I've had very minimal interaction with other ASMR artists on YouTube. I think I have briefly spoken with like 5 other artists, and that was just because other sites were like stealing our content, not for collabs or anything like that. So I mean, maybe I guess I'm open to it, but I feel like if it hasn't happened at this point, it's probably not going to happen. Pink Chica asks, what would you do if someone you know found your channel and recognized you? Pink Chica, have you seen the Yandere audio? Going straight to my basement. No, seriously, if that happened, if I know them, I probably trust them. But if I don't know them well and it was super sketchy, then yeah, I'd probably just stop doing it. Honey Bonnie, it's a cute name. Honey Bonnie asked, what snack or meal sparks nostalgia for you? That is such a good question. Honey, probably Nanaimo bars and Panago pizza. Those are just like classic Canadian food. I mean, I don't know if you have them in the US, but I'm pretty sure it's like classic Canadian food. Maybe crepes with butter and whipped cream and stewed strawberries. So good. Ella Shepherd asks, what is the best and worst first date that you've ever been on? The best first date I've ever been on, I'm going to skip. The worst first date was probably this girl who turned out to be obsessive. Like, not a little bit obsessive, which can be a little bit hot to me, but like really obsessive. She was saying things like, I love you, handsome. And we were only on the first date. And it was so awkward that I just bailed and took the next train. It was horrible. Do you ever encounter writer's block? If so, how do you deal with it? So writer's block is not very common for me. I usually just make a cup of tea, relax, don't stress, don't put pressure on your brain. Just relax, listen to some music, pull up a doc and just start writing until it comes to you. If you could be any type of warrior, i.e. a knight, a samurai, a Jedi, etc., what would you choose and why? All right, Chandrima, you know how to ask the questions that make every guy happy. I think this is my favorite question anyone has ever asked me. Ever, besides talking about food. All right, so if we're talking about straight up realism here, I think the knights are probably the best thing to be. Because you get the best armor, you get the best food, you get an awesome horse. Your life is eating and drinking and, killing your enemies, obviously, but fighting and just being a beast. Plus you roll with a huge crew of men-at-arms. And you get cool heraldry. You get to do cool sports like jousting and courting noble girls. Like, being a knight is pretty awesome. If we're talking fantasy, I would definitely choose samurai. I read all of the Legend of the Five Rings books as a kid, and I was completely enamored with being a Scorpion or Crane Clan samurai. And I still want to paint a Scorpion Clan samurai on my motorcycle helmet. So yeah, samurai are super cool too. As for Jedi, I would say the Jedi are definitely not my thing. Like, if I had to choose, I would be a Sith over a Jedi for sure. Your favorite African asks, if you could travel anywhere in the continent of Africa, where would you go? I don't think I've done enough research, but I would probably go to Ethiopia, Malawi, Tunisia for sure, and Madagascar, maybe? Like, people forget, Africa is it's a continent, guys. It's a big continent. There's a lot of places that would be super cool to go to. Have you ever met someone famous? Not really. Like, nothing comes to mind. I swear this is a true story and this happened once. I was walking across the street and someone pulled up in a red Ferrari. And when I looked over, this lady swear she was checking me out, guys. And I swear it was Jada Pinkett Smith. Like 100%. I believe it was Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm so certain of it. And now, and also I was in a city at the time where a lot of videos are recorded. So I was like, oh my God, it was actually her. And now in hindsight, knowing her whole situation with young boys, yeah, it probably was Jada Pinkett Smith. I wish I had a better story, but yeah, I haven't met any famous people. What is the most boring sport to watch? Golf. What makes a person attractive to you? If we get along, just compatibility. And that doesn't mean that we have to be the same. It just means that if we vibe. Like, I've definitely met people that I was not immediately attracted to, that I became attracted to once we got to know each other. My question is, if you could invite 5 famous people, dead or alive, to a dinner party, who would they be and why? Okay, easy. You know Leonardo da Vinci is going to be there, right? And then we need the 4 big, like, I don't want to get too controversial because of YouTube, but the 4 big religious figures. And you know who I'm talking about. And all 5 of them need to sit down, and I'm going to have a glass of wine, and they need to just sort everything out, okay? We need to figure things out so people can get along once and for all. What has been the hardest audio that you've made and why? Probably the first eating disorder audio that I made, because my sister really suffered from it, and me too, to a lesser degree. So that was kind of difficult to get through. Ella asks, what is your go-to gas station snack or drink? There is only one correct answer, and that is beef jerky. Teriyaki beef jerky. Followed by like peppered beef jerky is also acceptable. Bree has a good question. She says, recently a good friend of mine went on a date with a guy, and she told me that she was unsure with seeing him again because he wasn't like the guys she listens to online. I told her that's unfair, as the online audios are fake and made to be perfect, but nobody is like that, which made me wonder, as someone who makes these audios, have you ever found yourself trying to act as perfect as the online version of you to impress someone? All right, this is completely off script, but I just have to say, a lot of these scenarios are not perfect. You guys are just really nice. And I'm the same way. Like, if a content creator makes something and I enjoy the content creator, I don't expect it to be perfect. And I'll rate it a 10 out of 10 because I like his or her material. And yeah, a lot of the scenarios that I come up with are not perfect. And it can be difficult to come up with scenarios that are not egregiously one way or the other. Like, there's some big flaw with with one of the personalities in the audio. I've never, not once in my life tried to be the way that I am on YouTube. And also, that is not because I'm putting on an act on YouTube. It is literally because I just never think about it. I've never been in a real life situation with another person and thought, oh, I need to act like in this audio. That just seems so like sociopathic. I don't know. That would be really weird. Do fan edits of you online ever go too far or make you cringe? They've never made me cringe. They made me laugh a lot, but they never made me cringe. Would you ever do a breaking the fourth wall video here on YouTube, like on Patreon? Sure. Yeah, it depends on what people would want the video to be, the topic of the video to be around, but I would do it. What do you think your best qualities are? None. I don't know. Probably confidence. I don't think that I was born with the best anything, but I will 100% be the best at whatever I do. So yeah, there's probably some confidence there. Anya says, have you ever thought about retirement? Anya, I'm not that old. My God. But yeah, I guess you're talking about like retirement from YouTube. And no, I haven't thought about that either. I don't think there's any point in, I don't know, stressing about something that isn't happening or isn't happening anytime soon. Emily says, what is your favorite romance book if you had to choose one? So, full disclosure, I don't really read romance. I did go through like a period where I did read some romance just to try and like broaden my horizon. But yeah, I don't really read romance. So I'm just going to say Animorphs. Best romance ever. Pride and Prejudice or Wuthering Heights? The right answer is Pride and Prejudice. All right, definitely. Pride and Prejudice. Did you watch John Wick Chapter 4? Not yet. I do want to see it, so let me know if it's good, but please do not post any spoilers. Isabella asks, do you still have your childhood teddy bear? No. No, that and my Charlie Brown blanket are long gone. Are you a dog person or a cat person? I am a dog person who is open to cats if they are nice. Do you have a tattoo? Yes. Speaking of tattoos, not only do I have a tattoo, but currently right now I'm feeling a little bit weird and my arm really hurts because I just got a new tattoo last night and it is very hot in here and it is stinging a bit. But I'm really happy with it, actually. This one was actually really painful, but it turned out really well. Are you more artistic or mathematic? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm more mathematic, but I produce, I guess what you would call some sort of art for a living, so that kind of makes it difficult to answer. Minette asks, any advice on moving on from the past, especially when those memories have been repressed? I had a few traumatic events and it has affected my mental health in school, job, etc. Hey Minette, it would be a really good idea to get these ideas out with a professional, especially if you're dealing with leftover trauma. And that's something that can stick with you for a very, very long time. So I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. Because for me, it's not the same, right? It's going to be different for each person. I'm kind of one of those people where I can just bury the hatchet and move on. But that's not good advice for a lot of people, right? So I think if you need to overcome something and it's really hampering your life, then it's worth it to, reach out for help and find somebody who can help you. And again, best of luck with it, seriously. Fairy says, how do you know if a chance is worth taking? Like how to know if you should take the leap or not. All right, Fairy, I'm going to tell you how. If you have been thinking about it consistently for a long time and it will not go away, then do it. And the length of time is proportional to the scale of the thing that you're doing. So, for example, if you want to move to Japan and you've been thinking about it for like a month, okay, that's not long enough. But if you want to move to Japan and you've been thinking about it for like 5 years and you just keep thinking about it every few months, yeah, it's time to do it, right? And like if you want a bag and you've been thinking about it for 2 days, no, don't buy the bag. But if you've been thinking about it for like 2 months or 3 months or something, I don't know how expensive the bag is. Yeah, go ahead, get yourself the bag. Anne says, sports, video games, or arts? Well, I do think that video games can be a form of art, but if I had to choose one for like all time, I have to go with art, right? Art is like an intrinsic facet of humanity. Or I don't know. So you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I would go with art for sure. Aurora says, who is your favorite fictional character? I would say maybe Hector from Troy. Like in the story, he's overshadowed by Achilles. but I think that Hector is a total badass in his own way. He's like, damn it, my brother just kidnapped a princess. I've got some OP god character outside who wants to kill me, and the whole city needs me to save it. Fine. And he goes out and he proceeds to die honorably. But there's some badassery in his character that I look up to. Vegeta also has a very special place in my heart from Dragon Ball Z. Have you traveled anywhere recently? No, but I was really happy to find out that Japan is dropping absolutely all COVID restrictions and complications this month, as far as I know. So I would like to go to Japan soon. Traveling has just been such a headache. So yeah, that's really good news. Vale says I need some advice so I don't feel bad every time I get a bad grade. Vale, I would say, and this is a very Sith answer, use those bad feelings to fuel better grades. Like, get angry about your failure. I feel bad calling it a failure. It's not a failure, okay? You're doing great. But it's okay to get angry and determined about it. I want you to take notes. And then I want you to write out the notes a second time. I want you to write out your notes a third time until you've memorized absolutely everything in your class. You got this. You can bring your grades up. You can do it. I believe in you, Vale. Janelle asks, is there an animal that describes you or your personality? Maybe a stereotypical answer, but I don't know, wolf? I may or may not have a very, very nice gray wolf tattoo. Favorite flavor of cake? Black Forest cake. 100%. I love me some Black Forest cake. Would you be willing to do another bedtime story audio? Yeah, I would love to. I mean, it's kind of fun just sitting here reading bedtime stories to you guys. It's kind of cute too. So yeah, I would do it again. Do you have a childhood game show or movie that you would like to be seen remade? Mummies Alive, for sure. I feel like I'm the only person on earth who watched Mummies Alive. And it was so good. Like, it was so good, I just bumped the mic saying that. What is your favorite word? My favorite word is eloquent. To be able to speak eloquently is a gift. As a content creator, what is your opinion on AI in creative spaces? I think it's pretty bogus that a lot of AI was trained on art that was owned by artists, right? It was copyrighted material. And now that AI may potentially be used to push artists out of those spaces. So they're not profitable anymore. I also think that work done purely by a human is going to be appreciated more. Like, I already appreciate it more when somebody posts some fan art of something and says, this was not AI generated. I'm like, oh, cool. That's really good. Also, I will say that I think the recent progress in AI is super cool. Like, it's really, really cool. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying, let's do it, but let's be a little cautious here, right? And also think about how it's going to affect our lives, because we don't want to make the world worse. Our goal is to make the world a better place. Hopefully asks, what are the small things your significant other can do that would make you feel loved? Speaking just as like a general guy here, just a compliment, I would say, since I've got a lot of girls listening right here, and maybe you've got some husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, whatever, situationships. You would be surprised how few compliments guys receive in general. Most guys can probably count on one hand every single compliment that they've received, and they remembered every single one. Even if you think you are dating the most handsome, talented guy in the world, unless he's like 0.0001% top supermodel guy, he never hears it. He does not get compliments. So go ahead and say, "Good morning, handsome," and give him a kiss and scratch the back of his head. You will make his week. Like, he's going to put a ring on it today. What are you not willing to change for a relationship? My standards, my work and my work ethic, and my self-respect. What makes you want to commit to a girl? That's a good question. I think when you are out with somebody, I think you can tell when someone has a certain down-to-earthness about them. Even if they're playful and light and having a good time, often you can tell if somebody has a certain seriousness underneath, like their job is important, their future is important, certain untangible or intangible, I don't know, certain intangible things are very important to them, like loyalty, wanting to discuss things and communicate when something goes wrong instead of just getting like crazy angry, wanting to spend time together. When you sense that in somebody else, at least when I do, I immediately consider her more as a potential long-term partner. So yeah, I guess I would say there are certain properties that you could see in somebody that would push them into that category. And I'm kind of curious, like, I assume it's the same with you guys when you meet a guy, but I'm kind of curious if it's the same. What are your thoughts on girls making the first move? I think it's awesome. Do it. It's great. Ranjini asks, what is the most beautiful place you have ever seen? Southern Germany. Outside the village of Passau in South Germany, you could see these green rolling hills going on forever. And I'm pretty sure that Austria is like the same way. But it was like being in a fairy tale. It was literally like a fairy tale. It was so beautiful. And running through the forest around there was also just, it was like a mystical experience. It was really beautiful. Have you read all the books in your bookshelf? No, I still need to finish Bullfinch's Mythology. Ravathi asks, something your crush did or said something that made you lose interest instantly. I don't want to throw shade on anybody here. Speaking generally, totally generally here, I'd say when people start playing games. You know, you hear things bandied about like, oh, don't text back for 2 days. Make that person wait. Or I don't know, you hear like all these kind of like dating tips, right? As soon as I sense that somebody is following a script or playing some kind of game, I'm super out, right? I'm not into that at all. NSZ says, my question is, what is your favorite motivational word or quote to be an inspiration in living your life? I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. J.R.R. Tolkien. Definitely one of my favorite quotes. All right, guys, my new tat is stinging and I'm sweating. And I've been talking for an hour, so probably like 50 minutes once I edit out any mistakes and my stomach grumbling and stuff like that. So thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for sticking around. I know this one was a bit more casual and relaxed. For everyone who submitted questions and didn't get them in before I did this, hopefully we can do another one soon, because I'm still receiving questions right now and a lot of them I want to talk about. They're interesting. So yeah, hopefully we can do another one soon. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and I will catch you in the next audio. Bye-bye.